Superior Iron Man is an alternate version of Iron Man, created during the Axis storyline, first appearing in Superior Iron Man #1 in 2014. This variant is Tony Stark, who has undergone a significant moral shift due to a magical event that reversed the morality of various characters. In this alternate reality, Tony Stark embodies extreme arrogance and self-serving behavior. He becomes a corporate mogul with a ruthless ambition to dominate San Francisco. Instead of using his intelligence and resources for heroism, he engages in manipulative practices to gain wealth and power. His suit features advanced technology that enhances his abilities and grants him a glowing, stark white design, symbolizing his drastic personality change. The storyline revolves around his unethical practices, such as offering a drug called Extremis, which enhances people's abilities but also creates dependency. Superior Iron Man is a prominent antagonist in the series, showcasing the consequences of unchecked ambition and the loss of moral integrity. He often clashes with traditional heroes, emphasizing the conflict between power and responsibility. Throughout his narrative, he encounters heroes such as Spider-Man and Daredevil, who oppose his authoritarian methods. His character explores themes of corruption, ambition, and the duality of heroism, providing a complex view of what it means to be a hero or a villain in the Marvel Universe. Maestro is an alternate version of the Hulk, introduced in The Incredible Hulk #452 in 1997. This variant of Hulk is from a dystopian future where he has become a tyrant. In this future, Bruce Banner, the man who transforms into Hulk, merges with the Hulk persona, resulting in a more intelligent but power-hungry version. Maestro is stronger and more ruthless than the original Hulk, possessing the Hulk's immense strength, but with the added traits of calculated intellect and strategic thinking. He is often depicted as a ruler, controlling a devastated world in the aftermath of nuclear war. In Future Imperfect, 1992, Maestro's story begins, where he defeats the remaining heroes and establishes himself as the supreme ruler of a ruined Earth. His reign is characterized by violence, manipulation, and a desire to rule over the ashes of civilization. Maestro is also a brutal and merciless figure, often clashing with other powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, such as the Hulk and the heroes of the present timeline. His story explores the theme of what happens when unchecked power and ambition lead to a dark future. Throughout his appearances, Maestro has become one of the most formidable and despised versions of the Hulk, embodying the worst traits of his original counterpart. Zombie Spider-Man is an alternate version of Spider-Man, originating from the Marvel Zombies series, which began in Ultimate Fantastic Four #21 in 2005. This variant of Spider-Man is Peter Parker, who becomes a member of a group of superheroes infected by a virus that turns them into flesh-eating zombies. Zombie Spider-Man retains his intelligence and some memories from his previous life, but is driven by an insatiable hunger for human flesh. His physical abilities, including superhuman strength, agility, and spider sense, remain intact, making him a formidable opponent despite his decayed state. The storyline depicts a world where many heroes have succumbed to the virus, leading to a gruesome apocalypse. In this narrative, Zombie Spider-Man grapples with his former identity while indulging in cannibalistic behavior, often confronting other characters from the Marvel Universe. His character serves as a dark reflection of the original Spider-Man, highlighting the tragic consequences of the zombie infection. Throughout his appearances, Zombie Spider-Man embodies the themes of loss, corruption, and the erosion of heroism in a world overrun by chaos. This variant has become iconic within the horror genre of the Marvel Universe, representing the ultimate downfall of a beloved hero. The Maker is an alternate version of Reed Richards, introduced in Ultimate Fantastic Four #21 in 2005. This variant emerges from the Ultimate Marvel Universe, where Reed Richards undergoes a transformation after an experiment goes wrong. The Maker possesses the same genius-level intellect as the original Reed, but his moral compass is significantly corrupted. He becomes a manipulative and power-hungry figure, willing to use any means necessary to achieve his goals. Unlike the heroic Reed Richards, the Maker seeks to reshape reality according to his vision, often using his advanced technology and powers for domination. He possesses the ability to stretch his body similar to the original Reed, but he enhances this power with technological advancements and intellect. In the storyline, he becomes a central antagonist, opposing the heroes of the Ultimate Universe, including the Ultimates and the X-Men. The Maker represents the dark potential of intellect and ambition unchecked by morality, often leading to catastrophic consequences for others. His character explores themes of hubris, ethics in science, and the dangers of absolute power. Throughout his appearances, the Maker is portrayed as a complex villain, challenging the heroes while embodying a twisted reflection of their ideals. Hydra Supreme is an alternate version of Captain America, introduced in Captain America #7 in 2018. This variant is a creation of the Hydra organization, representing a dark twist on the original hero. Hydra Supreme is a brainwashed version of Steve Rogers, who has been manipulated to serve Hydra's agenda. In this storyline, he emerges as a powerful leader of Hydra, seeking to expand their influence and control over the world. Hydra Supreme possesses the same enhanced strength, agility, and combat skills as the original Captain America, but his loyalty is entirely to Hydra. This version of Steve is ruthless, using his heroic facade to further Hydra's nefarious plans while eliminating any threats to their rule. He often clashes with other Marvel heroes, particularly those who oppose Hydra's tyranny. Hydra Supreme explores themes of identity, loyalty, and the consequences of manipulation, showcasing how even the noblest individuals can be turned to darkness. This character serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of extremism and the potential for corruption within a hero's ideals. Throughout his appearances, Hydra Supreme challenges the legacy of Captain America, representing a corrupted vision of heroism. Dark Phoenix is an evil variant of Jean Grey, introduced in X-Men number 101 in 1976. She is a powerful telepath and telekinetic, originally a member of the X-Men. Dark Phoenix occurs when Jean Grey becomes possessed by the Phoenix Force, a cosmic entity of immense power. Under the Phoenix's influence, Jean becomes uncontrollable, and her emotions, especially anger and despair, amplify the Phoenix Force's destructive potential. Dark Phoenix's primary characteristics are her immense power, destructive tendencies, and the loss of her moral compass. Her transformation into Dark Phoenix leads to her attacking the X-Men and causing large-scale devastation. In X-Men number 137, Jean, as Dark Phoenix, destroys a star, which leads to the deaths of billions, and almost brings about the destruction of the universe. The X-Men struggle to stop her, with their efforts culminating in Jean's decision to take her own life to prevent further destruction. The Dark Phoenix saga explores themes of power, corruption, and sacrifice. This storyline has been adapted into various media, most notably in the X-Men the Animated Series and the 2019 film Dark Phoenix. Pymtron is an evil variant of Hank Pym, also known as Ant-Man, who is combined with Ultron, a sentient artificial intelligence villain. This variant appears in the Avengers Ultron Revolution animated series and is an alternate version of the character from Earth 1610 in Marvel Comics. Pymtron is the result of Hank's attempt to create a more powerful version of Ultron, resulting in a dangerous fusion of Pym's intellect and Ultron's ruthless nature. As Pymtron, Hank possesses the genius-level intelligence of Pym, along with Ultron's mechanical body, which grants him immense strength, durability, and advanced weaponry. He also shares Ultron's ability to control technology and produce robotic armies, further amplifying his threat. Pymtron's primary goal is to bring about global destruction by manipulating technology and using his powerful robotic minions to achieve his desires. He serves as a significant antagonist in the storyline, representing the dangers of merging human ambition with uncontrollable artificial intelligence. In this evil variant, Hank Pym loses his heroic qualities, embracing a much darker and more tyrannical persona. Ghost Goblin is an alternate version of Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, who becomes the Ghost Rider, embodying the spirit of vengeance. Norman Osborn is a wealthy businessman, former CEO of Oscorp, and the father of Harry Osborn. He is also a recurring enemy of Spider-Man, known for his insane obsession with power and personal vendettas. As the Green Goblin, Norman wears a high-tech suit with enhanced strength, agility, and advanced weaponry, most notably his pumpkin bombs and glider. His unpredictable, dangerous nature makes him one of Spider-Man's most feared adversaries. The Ghost Rider is a supernatural being who acts as the spirit of vengeance, typically inhabiting a human host like Johnny Blaze. This entity possesses supernatural abilities, including the ability to summon hellfire, manipulate chains, and bring torment to evil souls. The Ghost Rider's powers are tied to the need for justice, often punishing those who have committed wrongs. In Ghost Goblin's case, Norman Osborn becomes the spirit of vengeance after making a deal with dark forces, merging his insanity and ambition with the Ghost Rider's fiery power. As Ghost Goblin, he gains all the Hellfire abilities of the Ghost Rider, including a skull engulfed in flames and chains that can be used as weapons, while retaining his Green Goblin traits, including his obsession with chaos, power, and vengeance. King Thanos is an alternate, future version of Thanos, the Mad Titan. Thanos is a powerful alien warlord from the planet Titan, known for his pursuit of the Infinity Stones to achieve ultimate power and to wipe out half of all life in the universe, believing it would restore balance. His defining characteristic is his obsession with death, which drives his actions. In his future version, King Thanos has already conquered the universe, defeated all superheroes, and eliminated many threats, becoming an even more ruthless and isolated tyrant. He rules over a decimated universe, having wiped out heroes like Captain America, Thor, and the Avengers. This version of Thanos is older, more merciless, and has no intention of sharing his power. He keeps Hulk, a former adversary and hero, as a captive pet, forcing the Hulk to do his bidding. This King Thanos is a grim reflection of the Mad Titan's greatest ambitions, showing the ultimate result of his path unchecked. His first appearance is in Thanos number 13, 2017, where his future self is depicted as a broken yet still dangerous figure. Doom Supreme is an alternate version of Victor Von Doom, the notorious villain known as Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom is a brilliant scientist and ruler of Latveria, a small European country, with an intense desire for ultimate power and control. He is a master of both science and sorcery, often seeking ways to dominate the world and prove his superiority. As Dr. Doom, Victor wears a suit of advanced armor that enhances his physical strength, durability, and energy projection, along with the ability to harness both magic and technology. Doom Supreme is a darker, more dangerous version of Dr. Doom, who fully embraces dark magic, combining it with his already formidable intellect and technological prowess. In this alternate version, Doom Supreme leads an army of alternate versions of himself from across the multiverse, each of them sharing his ambition for ultimate control. He relentlessly pursues absolute power, manipulating mystical forces and seeking to rewrite reality to suit his desires. This version of Dr. Doom is far more ruthless and willing to sacrifice anything, including his own morality, in his quest to conquer the multiverse. Dark Beast is an alternate version of Hank McCoy, originating from the Age of Apocalypse storyline, where his path diverges from the heroic Beast of the main Marvel universe. Unlike the kind-hearted Hank, Dark Beast is a brilliant but morally corrupt geneticist who embraces his darker instincts, becoming a mad scientist with a complete disregard for ethics. In this reality, Apocalypse, the powerful mutant warlord, rises to power, and Dark Beast serves as one of his loyal allies. Instead of using his intellect for the betterment of humanity, Dark Beast focuses on horrific genetic experimentation, manipulating and corrupting both mutants and humans to further his goals. He conducts cruel and gruesome experiments, creating monstrous creatures and testing the limits of science without concern for the suffering he causes. Thor as the Black Winter is a variant of Thor from the Marvel Comics universe, introduced in Thor number 6, 2020. This version of Thor appears as a dark, corrupted counterpart to the heroic Thor. The Black Winter is an ancient, malevolent cosmic force that consumes universes and destroys all life within them. Thor, in this role, is depicted as being consumed by the Black Winter's power, essentially serving as its herald. This transformation comes after Thor confronts the Black Winter in an attempt to stop its destructive path. As the Black Winter, Thor becomes a twisted reflection of his usual self, embodying doom and decay rather than the protector of the Nine Realms. His iconic hammer, Mjolnir, is altered by this version, gaining dark, sinister qualities that allow him to wreak havoc on a cosmic scale. Thor's usual godly traits are distorted, and he becomes a powerful weapon for the Black Winter's will. The Black Winter, originally introduced as a cosmic force that feeds on the very fabric of existence, is shown to have a significant connection to the destruction of universes, and Thor's involvement deepens the mythos around this catastrophic entity. Void, also known as Dark Sentry, is an evil variant of Sentry introduced in the Sentry number 5, 2000. Sentry, originally a hero named Robert Reynolds, was granted immense power by the serum he ingested, which gave him godlike abilities, including super strength, flight, and the power to manipulate reality. However, Robert's psyche was fractured, leading to the creation of Void, a dark, monstrous entity representing Sentry's repressed and destructive tendencies. Void is an embodiment of Sentry's inner darkness, existing as a malevolent force capable of immense destruction. While Sentry was a symbol of hope, Void became a harbinger of terror, and its actions reflect the worst aspects of Sentry's power. Void's primary goal is to cause widespread devastation, and it often battles Sentry in an internal struggle, as both entities vie for control over Robert's mind and actions. Void's power is nearly limitless, drawing from the same cosmic energy that Sentry wields, but with far more malicious intent. This version of the character is a representation of unchecked power and the destructive potential of one man's inner turmoil. Dreadpool is an alternate version of Deadpool introduced in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe number 1, 2012. Deadpool, whose real name is Wade Wilson, is a mercenary with an accelerated healing factor, expert combat skills, and a tendency for unpredictability. After being manipulated by Psycho Man, a scientist and ruler of the microverse with mind-controlling abilities, Wade's fractured psyche is altered, causing him to silence the internal voices that define his usual personality. Now fully aware of his existence within a fabricated reality, he becomes Dreadpool. Dreadpool, a ruthless killer determined to exterminate every superhero and villain. Unlike his counterpart, who often operates with a chaotic but ultimately moral compass, Dreadpool is methodical and devoid of humor, executing his plan with brutal efficiency. His killing spree extends beyond his own universe, as he eventually discovers the existence of the real-world creators responsible for shaping his reality and sets out to destroy them. His actions lead to the events of Deadpool Killustrated and Deadpool Kills Deadpool, where he attempts to eradicate every version of himself across the multiverse. Madeline Pryor, known as the Goblin Queen, is a character from Marvel Comics first introduced in Uncanny X-Men number 175, 1983. Madeline is a clone of Jean Grey, created by Mr. Sinister, a geneticist and villain, using Jean's DNA. Initially, Madeline lived a life of normalcy, marrying Scott Summers and having a child, Nathan Summers, later known as Cable. However, after Jean's apparent death and the rise of Madeline's own powers, she begins to exhibit darker traits. Madeline becomes the Goblin Queen after being manipulated and driven mad by the discovery of her true origins. She adopts a fiery, demonic persona, utilizing dark magic and powerful psionic abilities, including telekinesis and telepathy. As the Goblin Queen, Madeline seeks revenge on those she perceives as responsible for her suffering, including Cyclops, whom she holds responsible for abandoning her. She becomes a major antagonist during the Inferno storyline, 1988, where she unleashes chaos on New York City, forming alliances with demons and supernatural forces. Her ambitions grow as she seeks to take control of her own destiny, ultimately challenging the X-Men and any hero in her path. The Fallen One is an evil variant of a Herald of Galactus, introduced in Infinity Gauntlet number 1, 1991. Originally a noble and loyal Herald of Galactus, the Fallen One is a former servant of the cosmic entity Galactus, tasked with finding new worlds for Galactus to devour. The Fallen One is a member of the race known as the Silver Surfer's People, an individual who once served with honor before being corrupted by immense power. After rejecting the control of Galactus, he fell into darkness and became an antagonist. In his darkened state, the Fallen One's powers are amplified to godlike levels. He possesses the power cosmic, granting him control over vast energies, the ability to manipulate matter, and superhuman strength, alongside other cosmic abilities. Unlike the other heralds, his disillusionment and anger have turned him into a force of destruction and vengeance. His role as a villain is cemented during his clash with the heroes of Earth, where he acts as one of the most formidable threats to their existence. Malice is the evil version of Susan Storm, also known as the Invisible Woman, from the Fantastic Four series. Malice first emerges in Fantastic Four number 240, 1982, when Susan is manipulated by Psycho Man, a villain who specializes in emotional control through his device called the Control Box. Using this technology, Psycho Man amplifies Susan's negative emotions, overriding her usual compassion and turning her into a cruel and sadistic persona. Malice retains all of Susan's abilities, including invisibility, force field generation, and intangibility, but now uses them for domination rather than defense. In this form, she attacks her teammates, using her force fields as lethal weapons rather than protective barriers. Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic, ultimately helps Susan break free by forcing her to recognize and confront this dark side of herself. However, traces of Malice remain within Susan, resurfacing at later points when her emotions become unstable, demonstrating that the transformation was not entirely artificial. Malice serves as a reflection of Susan's potential for ruthlessness, proving that even the most noble heroes have the capacity for darkness under the right conditions. Devil Hulk is an evil and highly intelligent variant of Bruce Banner's Hulk, first appearing in Incredible Hulk number 474, 1998. Initially introduced as a psychological defense mechanism, Devil Hulk was created to keep the Savage Hulk in check and protect Bruce's mind. However, as Bruce's emotional anguish grows over time, Devil Hulk becomes more malevolent, embodying Bruce's self-loathing and deep resentment toward the world. His desire for control over Bruce's body and life becomes paramount. In Immortal Hulk number 1, 2018, Devil Hulk fully emerges as one of Bruce's most dangerous and persistent personalities. While possessing the traditional powers of the Hulk, immense strength, near invulnerability, and rapid healing, Devil Hulk is also deeply strategic, manipulative, and self-aware. Unlike the traditional Hulk, who is driven solely by rage, Devil Hulk is calculating and cruel, using both mental and physical means to torment Bruce. His ultimate goal is to annihilate humanity, believing that only through widespread destruction can Bruce be freed from his suffering and true potential unlocked.